Okay, so that is the end of that. Let's not continue to mess around with that madness. But yeah, what's going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is digital asset space. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to each and every one of you. Happy Wednesday. Gosh, I finally got some time to put out this absolutely crazy and amazing news. Judge Netburn has, oh my goodness, I don't even know what to think right now. I mean, this is absolutely outstanding. I'm going to go over that for sure. We're going to go into a little bit of the details. Stuart Alrowdy has something to say, and it's pretty freaking, absolutely pretty powerful. Just a little bit on Celsius and my thoughts there for sure. Jeremy Hogan chimes in on this latest ruling. It's pretty powerful stuff. John Deaton with an open letter to members of the House Financial Services Committee. It's just outstanding work. And I hope that we're all able to do our part to just a matter of a simple retweet and a tag to really get this going and show the world who the XRP army is. I think it can be significant for freaking sure. Cashed out on the crypto. I forgot about it. Took about a 6-7. It's about a 7x, maybe 6.5, 7x, or 7. Yeah, something like that. 6.5, 7x, somewhere around there. Really was cool to see that. Totally, I forgot about it. But in any case, still doing our thing out of town, and we'll be back home once we get Little Miss Crypto Siege situated here for sure. Had an opportunity to go check out one of our investments that we have out here in Vegas. That was really cool. So, in any case, guys, this is your XRP Ripple daily news in around 0 to freaking 10 minutes. So, guys, look, the market is doing what the market does. I feel I'm going to get a call at the wrong time. I know I am. The market is doing what the freaking market does. And I bet you that's the call right now. It's showing up as spam though, so I won't answer it. So look, the total cryptocurrency market cap is at 922 billion. And the Bitcoin dominance is at 41%. 922 billion. Things are moving in the wrong direction, right? Bitcoin is at $19,827 again. Ethereum is at $1,086 again. XRP is at 32 cents again. And the market is just doing what the market does. The Poly got up to 58 cents. I think we got out at 57 cents. That's cool to see. Uniswap's making some moves. But oh my gosh, let me do this. I'm going to do this. Hold on 1 second, guys. I got to get this. I'm going to pause this here for a second. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm back. And that was not the call that I was expecting or hoping. So here it is. Look, market again doing what it does. Look at Aave up 25%. Swing traders are doing their thing. Congrats to each and every one of you if you're out there improving your net worth slowly but surely. That is always a really great deal. But in any case, there it is. The market is just doing what the market does. So the big news on the street, I know everyone has heard it. Judge Netburn has denied the SEC's request to seal the Hammond speech documents. And I gotta tell you, I'm gonna go over this thing. I know you probably have heard some of it, but boy, did she nail it. And she laid into them. I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on the overall, I believe, the overall impact of this decision. And it's more to me than just being able, or Ripple being able to see some documents. I really do believe that. We're gonna get into that, and for sure. And we're gonna use Stuart Alrowdy's tweet to kind of wrap up my point or speak to my point. Just added to our document library, order from Magistrate Judge Sarah Netburn denying the SEC attorney-client privilege argument to conceal the Hammond speech documents. and ordering production. This was some really very, very interesting stuff. I'm going to see where I want to cover this or where I want to start. Let's start right here. By letter motion, the Securities and Exchange Commission argues that the attorney-client privilege protects internal documents related to a June 14, 2018 speech. The speech given by William Hinman, and she got it in parentheses, the speech given by William Hinman, then the Director of Division of Corporate Finance. This argument was previously raised secondarily, with the SEC primarily asserting the deliberative process privilege. The SEC's motion is denied. Oh my goodness, this is one of the best things ever right here. It's going to tell so many things about the SEC with this ruling, and it's going to speak to Congress without question. And if you think the members of Congress are not paying attention to these ruling in the SEC Ripple versus Ripple case, you're sadly mistaken. So the court assumes the parties, she gave some background here. The court assumes the parties familiarity with the facts. The SEC filed this enforcement action under Section 5 of the Securities Act, alleging that the defendants, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Lawson, and Ripple Labs, are currently engaging in the unlawful order of sales of securities, and that the defendants, and it's important, are currently engaging in the unlawful offer of sale of securities, and that defendants Larson and Garlinghouse aided and abetted Ripple's violation. As relevant here, defendants sought certain documents from the SEC to challenge the SEC's allegations that Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse were effectively reckless in believing that XRP was not a security, and that Ripple was on fair notice that XRP was a security. Following the court's ruling on the relevancy of certain categories of documents, the SEC searched its files and raised objection to the production of certain documents on the ground that they are protected by deliberative process privilege. After conducting an in-camera review of exemplar documents identified in Appendix A to the defendant's motion, the court granted the defendant's motion to compel production of emails related to and drafts of the speech. The court and remember we've been saying this on this channel, we said that Judge Netburn was just gonna keep giving them rope, crossing all their T's and dotting all her I's, right? She wants to, right? That was her thing. Want to make this bulletproof, want to make it non-appealable, if you will. The SEC then moved for reconsideration, or in the alternative, clarification of the court's order. The court you could see how upset she is with this. You could see it. The court denied the SEC's motion for reconsideration and clarified that the SEC was obligated to produce all emails related to or drafts of the speech, except for any communications between agency staff discussing the speech in the context of how it implicates others. Separate agency deliberations. The SEC now asserts that the attorney-client privilege protects production of these documents. The court heard argument on the SEC's motion on June 7th of 2022, and to facilitate the court's review, subsequently permitted the SEC to submit 10 additional exemplary documents for in-camera review. The legal standard says the attorney-client privilege is one of the oldest recognized privileges for confidential communications. It protects confidential communications between client and counsel made for the purpose of obtaining or providing legal assistance. The privilege encourages attorneys and their clients to communicate fully and frankly, thereby promoting broader public interest in the observance of law and administration of justice. Because the privilege renders relevant information undiscoverable, courts applied only when necessary to achieve its purpose. The party invoking the privilege bears the burden of establishing its applicability. In reference to grand jury proceedings, she referenced another court. Any ambiguities as to whether the essential elements have been met are construed against the party asserting the privilege. Okay, so that's the legal stuff there. And she's giving court, she's referencing court cases. Right, this is what attorneys do. So let me go on here. boy, she cited a bunch of previous court rulings about clearing up for sure the attorney-client privilege, right? So there is no serious disagreement between the parties regarding this prong and idea for presume its application. All right, let me see here. Applications. The SEC does not dispute the fact. The SEC does not dispute that the speech reflected Herman's personal views and were explicitly not agency policy. Instead, the SEC argues that there is a difference between the speech itself and its drafting, regardless of whether Herman gave the speech in his personal capacity or in his personal capacity as the then director of corporate finance, as the SEC put it at oral argument. During the drafting and editing process, he and other SEC staff acted in their official capacities and are therefore entitled to assert attorney-client privileges as agency employees communing with agency counsel. The SEC characterizes this process as Hinman seeking to protect the interests of the SEC by obtaining legal advice from SEC attorneys in corporate finance and other offices and divisions about the speech, because Hinman sought legal advice in the course of his employment about legal issues subject to the SEC's purview. Then these quotations are from the SEC's attorneys, these quotation marks. The documents were kept confidential, and the predominant purpose of the documents was to obtain or provide legal advice. The SEC asserts that the privilege shields most of the documents from disclosure and requires that the rest be redacted. Having heard argument on this issue and reviewed the SEC's 10 executive documents in camera, I disagree. There is no debate that the government employees can be clients as contemplated by the attorney-client privilege, and she's citing some stuff. The core of the parties' disagreement is whether a government employee can be a client when the matter about which the employee seeks advice is not ultimately agency business. Defendants argue that Hinman is not a client of the SEC's lawyers for purposes of advice related to an outside activity such as the speech. The SEC retorts that the speech had to have been developed as part of Hinman's official duties because the SEC staff who provided edits and feedback to the speech were prohibited from using agency time and resources to provide input on a purely personal errand, in quotation marks. At our argument, the SEC emphasized that the information Hinman received from SEC staff while drafting and editing the speech would not have been available to him as a private citizen. Last attorney, SEC attorney, not a great job. It was only in the context of his employment that he was able to solicit the edits and feedbacks he did. The question is made unnecessarily complicated by the SEC's litigation tactics. The SEC has distanced itself from the speech to avoid discovery and sought to preclude Hinman's deposition on the grounds that whatever he said in the speech, it had nothing to do with the SEC's position. The hypocrisy in arguing to the court, on the one hand, that the speech is not relevant to the market's understanding of how or whether the SEC will regulate cryptocurrency, and on the other hand, that Hinman sought and obtained legal advice from SEC counsel in drafting his speech, suggests that the SEC is adopting its litigation positions to further its desired goal and not of a faithful allegiance to the law. The court, hypocrisy and not out of a faithful allegiance to the law. Litigation tactics, these words are powerful. The court, however, need not resolve whether Hinman was a client of the SEC's lawyers because the evidence establishes that the predominant purpose of the communications was not to provide legal advice. Was not. Let's see here. I'm going to go over Jeremy Hogan's thing here a bit. This was not even a nuanced opinion. Judge Netburn tore apart every SEC argument for attorney-client privilege of the Hammond emails. Every argument. That starts the 14-day clock for an appeal the judge tours, and if her recent orders are any precedent, things will move relatively fast. Let me find Stuart Aliradi's thing here. And look, he's a smart dude. He's a smart dude. And Stuart Aliradi. And you know it has to pain him, and any decent attorney has to pains him to see the childish display of being an attorney by the SEC. And it's sad because I know that the vast majority of this by the SEC is at the bidding and direction of hashtag Gary Gensler is not your friend. How awful it must be to be in a position where you have to take orders from this guy. Brutal. Stuart Aliradi says, thinking this morning about when first admitted to the bar, every lawyer has to swear an oath, not to a desired goal, nor to a client. You swear an oath to a faithful allegiance to the law and to your duties as an officer of the court. I gotta tell you, my friends, and here's what I believe this ruling really does. It puts the SEC on notice 100% that both Judge Netburn and both Judge Torres they know exactly the intentions of the lawyering that's taking place. They're attorneys, right? Previously, they know when it's obvious that it is about not being providing discovery. It's about trying to keeping things private, not disclosed. It ain't about anything else but that. And it is becoming very, very clear that these judges, both Judge Netburn and Judge Torres, know that this is not the normal act of good attorneys. This is not good attorney or good lawyering. They know it. And they know that most attorneys, if not all, take this thing serious right here. Swear an oath to the faithful allegiance to the law and your duties as an officer of the court. They know it. The SEC lawyers know it, and Judge Netburn and Judge Torres definitely know it. And they have to say to themselves why would these attorneys from the SEC be behaving and acting in the way that they are. It's not right. And they know that it's not right. The judges know that it's not right. And I believe John Deaton really summed it up. Judge Netburn commented that the SEC lawyers have shown a lack of faithful allegiance to the law, but it is so much worse than that. SEC lawyers are making up the law as they go, as I would add, in order to satisfy Gary Gensler's political desire to regulate a new evolving asset class. And it has been that way from the beginning. And this ruling, I promise you, is being talked about in the United States Congress right now. I promise you that it is. They're all paying attention. They are all paying attention. Maybe not as much attention as you and I, but they're paying attention to it. Speaking of John Deaton, I think this is a really, really important thing because I hope you guys will have an opportunity to participate and, do our part in retweeting and tagging people from the House Financial Services Committee, and perhaps even to your local Congress people. It says here, an open letter to the members of the House Financial Services Committee and of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. It's by Johnny Deaton. I write to you on this public platform hoping you will truly understand the damage being inflicted on innocent holders of XRP. I represent 68,700 of those holders. I'm not going to read all this, so don't worry. We are users, developers, small businesses, content providers, and investors in the digital asset XRP. In 2015, XRP became the first regulated cryptocurrency in the United States when the Department of Justice Civil Division and the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, settled with Ripple, declaring XRP a convertible virtual currency. After FinCEN declared XRP a virtual currency, forcing sales to comply with U.S. banking laws, not securities laws, foreign governments, including the UK, Japan, Switzerland, Singapore, and the United Arab Emirates, followed suit, all declaring XRP a non-security. One last paragraph. On December 22nd of 2020, 5 years after FinCEN classified XRP a virtual currency, and 7.5 years after XRP had been publicly traded in the United States on SEC Chairman Jay Clayton's last day, the SEC filed suit against Ripple, alleging XRP to be an investment contract, aka security, with Ripple. Guys, I highly recommend you check it out and read this. It is it's lengthy, but it is well done. John Deaton, you are that dude, my friend. Keep doing what you are doing. And guys, yeah, so take a second to retweet it and tag your applicable congressperson. It is great. It is great. It's John. You don't know how much we appreciate all that you have been doing for this community. So guys, look, I would recommend pay attention. You know, I know the big news right now is William Barr did get that confirmation. Shout out to my guy Rasheen, fan of the channel. William Barr did get the confirmation. I mean, yeah, is that great news? Absolutely. U.S. Senate majority confirmed Michael Barr to be a member of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System. That is really, really great, and it is awesome to see that. And we all know, right, Michael Barr, former board member at Ripple. I think this is hugely important. It's just the beginning of where we're going. You know, I will say this in reference to anything financial, any kind of financial decisions that you make. I think that everyone, whether in doing good, right, and doing bad, everyone has this thing about covering your six. In crypto, a lot of times we call it risk management, right? And so whether you're doing good or not, there's this thing where you cover your 6 o'clock. What are the things that are being done that are good and things that are being done that are bad, right? There's a covering your 6 o'clock that happens. Whether that be protecting your financial interests, whether that be protecting you and your family and their financial interests, whether there is the unknown, there's a covering your 6 o'clock. And I'm not suggesting to tell you what to do, but that's what I'm doing. Covering my 6. And I hope you guys understand that. All right, guys, look, this is going to wrap up my XRP Ripple Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope it has been of value to you. Do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the hangout. I definitely appreciate it. And hitting the like button definitely helps with the algorithm on YouTube. And we are trying to fix what is, for some reason, the biggest mystery in the world with my subscriber count. Why it keeps going up to about 7,700 and then it just goes back down. It's absolutely crazy. We will fix it, and it's definitely going to take some subscribers, a bunch kind of hopping on at one time or another to get it fixed. So I appreciate each and every one of you. But most important thing I got to tell you is to continue to show up and add value to our lives. So I appreciate you doing that, and I'm here to do the same as well. All right, guys, look, I'm going to end this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this.
Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather that we remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it.